I gotta get the soundtrack to this series. I really gotta get the soundtrack. That ending song with Mendoza, that soundtrack that played in the background when he was scheming and talking about horrors and stuff, that soundtrack, holy shit. That is worth a buy alone, just to get that soundtrack. Oh my god, that sounded awesome. Oh, seriously, that soundtrack was hype. Okay, so this week's episode of Garo, we actually have progression. At first, when I was first watching this episode, to be honest with all of you, I thought it was going to turn into a Monster of the Week type episode. I honestly did. But with the overall ending and conclusion of this episode, there was meaning in this episode, and it was progression. There was progression in this episode. So, before I get into talking about the overall progression at the end of this episode, let's talk about this episode in general. So, to start off the bat, I want to talk about the blacksmith. So the concept of this episode is rather basic and simple. Pretty much you have it to where a blacksmith father has a son. His son doesn't want to become a blacksmith, he wants to become a knight. And he wants to join these order of knights that are like special, called the Knighthood of Black. I think that's the exact name. And then you have it to where in the past he saw this boy getting abused in the market. He was running around trying to get food, and he decides to, adopt this boy and make him like his son. And it's the little brother of the elder brother. That is the main real son to the blacksmith. Well, as the episode progresses, we find out mysteries about this blacksmith, and we find out he was actually turned into a horror by his dead son's sword. Now, the thing is, with this episode, supposedly at the end, we find out that everybody that goes into this order, like the Secret Knight, like Knighthood of Black, if they go there, you have to kill each other to win. For instance, let's say there's 5 people, okay, signing up for this. 4 people would have to die, and there would have to be 1 survivor. And the last survivor will go to the capital castle or whatever, a secret ritual organization, and they'll be turned into a horror. And so, this proves to us that Mendoza is making an entire army of horrors. That's exactly what he's doing. He's making people go through this ritual, and then he's turning them into horrors against their will, and then he's making a mindless army. That's pretty much what the concept of this episode was. That's what it tried to show us. That's what it set up. It shows us how the armies are made. Now, it was sad seeing how the blacksmith father died. He could not be saved in the very end, and Herman actually just killed him. But, I mean, the overall fight, that was fucking epic, but it was sad how the father could not be saved. But at the very least, the adopted son of the blacksmith managed to move on and actually, use the blacksmith shop for herself. He managed to move on and continue this shop to run. So, personally, the progression and the way it ended, it was a really nice episode. Now, moving past that, this episode had a great fight scene. Oh my god, Herman versus that blacksmith horror. Dude, that shit was hype, dude. Did you see the cinematography in that scene? The CGI? That looked freaking great. That looked absolutely amazing. When you saw Herman walking around in his black armor and all that, you just see him skidding, I'm like, dude, that's epic. That's fucking epic. Seriously, he looked epic. Oh, the way it looked so crisp and fluid. Yeah, honestly, at certain times, it didn't even look like CGI because it just looked so damn good with the background. I'm like, dude, that is too damn good. I love that side, pan shot of Herman. That looked freaking crazy good because, when you saw him walk in, you saw the side of his face. I'm like, that is a badass. That is just a straight out badass. Oh my god. So, for the most part, that's pretty much the episode. That's the gist of the episode. It's a good episode, but it's rather slow. But I've been told that this series will take some time to actually build up because it is going to be taking some time to let us see the entire world aspect of the series. But overall, wonderful episode. I enjoyed it. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all be safe. Chibi out.